still no decider of that first map, and it's TSM that are going to kick us off on the attack on a statistically attacker-sided map, so they may have a good run of things. If we see a 12-0 start, that would be very shocking. I still expect 100 Blifted to put some rounds up, so we'll see how many they are able to do so. 9-3 very possible, 10-2 very possible, considering how powerful TSM could be. And so we'll see what those rounds look like for 100 Blifted and where they will find their success.
It looks like they're going to try to get success for the first time in this series over on A, and they've managed to take the site with literally no effort. Now that you hear the spike going down, the retake on this is going to be difficult, to say the least. There's Sony using the drone. He's going to spot two. Actually, there's the flash as well. Wardell's going to get flashed up, and he's not going to have much luck there. Lex drawing first blood.
Yeah, and that's a great pick to kick us off. Grego as well, using some of that raised utility to do some damage. Sabrosa there with the refrag as they just have no idea
Cutler.
what's going on.
Cutler
down from behind. They just all line up for him, and one at a time they will fall. TSM winning the first round. They'll get that. I don't even think they did get that spike down. I was really wondering where they put it. They put it in the corner there on site, but that was looking like 100 Blifted had the opportunity, but unfortunately did not check all their corners appropriately, and as a result, they will be punished. But look at this early purchase come in from Wardell, the Marshal. He is looking to really do some damage and do some damage early to kick us off.
Yeah, and folks, if you're new to competitive Valorant, if this is your first time watching TSM, there are two things that I think are worth pointing out that are a guarantee, right? It's Wardell and a sniper. If those two things at any point in time have the opportunity to be paired up, you've got it. And this is a really good example of that. He's rocking the Marshal. Nerf Ninja, however, is going to greet Wardell with a couple of shotgun shells to the face.
We're seeing now the positioning from the attack. After that unfortunate situation that occurred in the middle of the courtyard, they will lose another from Grego as he holds on to the doors. Now TSM starting those rotations early, but it's Morg on the opposite side. He'll see them now starting to retreat. It's a long way to go, and he'll survive just with 50 HP. Now the hot hand's going to start to come through, but they see one down behind the site. And now with that wall going up, it'll give him a lot of space. But Morg, he's waiting on the other side. He's hoping that he can at least peek his way through, but it's the curveball that he'll be greeted with, and a shot from Drone. Sony buying up to the Marshal. Unfortunately, the last one standing for the side of 100 Blifted. And so now as the smokes go down, the cage goes down, it's TSM in a great position to stop Sony from pushing forward.
Yeah, and even with TSM having a couple of members with low health, it's difficult in a 1v3, especially with a Marshal and the spike is down. You don't have any utility there. Yeah, Drone's just going to be able to make quick work of Sony. Another round in the pocket of TSM, and this is a round you expect them to win, right? You win the pistol round, mathematically speaking. You should win the next round as well, and TSM just making things go as they should.
I mean, this is something that we also predicted. However, in some of these rounds, 100 Blifted have at the bare minimum been able to find some picks, some frags. You know, a cheeky little corner like Grego holding onto the doors with the shorty. Like, that's a guaranteed frag, like 9 times out of 10. And so I'm looking for the conversion of these guaranteed frags into actual positioning advantages for the side of 100 Blifted. And so far, it's worked out. Wardell, he hops, he peeks, but it's Grego Maego with the 2 taps. You'll find 2 frags in the courtyard, and that opens up a great round here for 100 Blifted if they hold on to this.
Yeah, the spike taking a leisurely, scenic route all the way across the map. And while it's great because it's going to give teammates enough time to get onto the site and take the site and establish that, you run the risk of losing control before you even get to show up with the package. But you see members of TSM there. They're on A. Lex looking to see if he can spot anyone up from heaven. He's going to get smoked out, and that's going to be the path, the key for Hayes to go in. Grego looking right on the outside of the flank as well. You see Hayes is going to be able to get the spike down, or at least start planting it. Lex trying to get through, and the damage is not going to be enough. Now comes the retake. Can they do it? Can they get this site back? Grego's able to get one. Hayes is going to get dropped at the hands of Lex. That's going to leave one member on the side of TSM. Cutler, you've done it before. Can you do it again? That's certainly going to help. 1 frag on.
Unfortunately for Cutler, he's going to find himself on the opposite side of the barrel of Ninja's operator. A round for 100 Blifted that, in my opinion, they needed, considering the how the map plays out as attacker-sided, Haven really favoring the attack, and of course that is where TSM start off. A round for 100 Blifted means there's no possibility for a 12-0. And so now we move on to other possibilities, 9-3, 8-4, 7-5. I mean, I don't predict a 7-5. I don't think 100 Blifted would keep it that close. But now 9-3 very doable, 10-2 very doable, and they can move on to the attacker side and then make a dent into TSM and keep it a little bit closer.
Ninja with off this time. Oh, Wardell gets up close and personal, and well, he's gonna regret it. As he gets taken out, Ninja's able to get a frag as well, and very quickly, TSM is down to 3 members left. The spike is also still back in their spawn.
A couple of peeking shots from TSM. Drone gonna find Sony. Now that opens the way and paves the way really for the site. Ninja, misses that crucial op shot onto Drone, and now back up to full is the Phoenix player as Grego and company are trying to poke and prod their way onto that A site. So far, nothing has really worked out for them as Drone gets a little bit more physical. Unfortunately, that run it back clone will be blown up by a blast pack, and now here comes the retake from the defense.
And it's going to be a difficult retake, but they've got the numbers. We're knotted up 3-3, so it's certainly not out of the realms of possible. Here comes Grego with the showstopper, looking for anyone. Yeah, he's able to tag up Drone, get the kill. Morg is able to get one as well, and once again, TSM is down to 1 member left. The orbital strike might not get the kill, but it's going to flush Grego to his death.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not looking so good here as it's down to the 1v1. Morg finds a frag, but at what cost? Will that spike blow up, or does he have enough time to get the job done? And it looks like the answer is no. Just under a second. Just under a second. Still a close round for 100 Blifted. And those are the rounds that you really want to have against TSM, keeping things close and keeping their economy in a bad spot. And when you think about a match like this, let's hypothetically think that TSM are at full force or TSM are not at full force. If they're not at full force, well, their economy's in shambles. And when they start really, quote-unquote, trying, well, they might not have the economy to do so as they are in, not really the best position. On the opposite side, though, they are obviously putting their best foot forward. They've got sheriffs, they've got pistols. And so they can still make it expensive, but this might be a round that TSM really just walks all over them considering the weapon difference.
Yeah, and considering the opening frag there from Wardell, that's certainly going to help their case. Hayes is able to get one as well. Members of 100 Blifted, dropping left and right like flies. Ninja might get an opportunity at one here just on the other side of the smoke, as it looks like Drone is starting to push forward. Yep, didn't even get the chance to shoot his gun as Drone takes him out. Wardell does as well. And again, folks, 100 Blifted, this doesn't look good.
That was a good try. They were able to get some chip damage onto a couple of members, but of course it did not really bode well for them. Something that I've noticed, and I don't know if this is just specifically that they're playing 100 Blifted, but it's sageless for both sides, and we have seen teams start to adapt to it. But on a map like Haven, considering how useful it can be to take B site, you throw the wall up, you throw smokes on either side, and you get an easy plant on that B side. But now you can't have that easy access that you originally do when you have the Sage. And so not only is TSM not running it, but so is 100 Blifted. They have no intention of bringing that Sage to the forefront.
Yikes, okay. A good opening number of seconds, for 100 Blifted as 2 members of TSM drop. It looks like it's going to be an aggressive case of trying to get information there from Ninja. He's going to get cleaned up, but he got what he needed. 3 members left on the side of TSM. You see the spike starting to creep its way up through garage. It looks like the play is likely going to be one towards C. The problem is, keep an eye on your minimap, folks. 100 Blifted has that Sova down in the alley. If he doesn't get sniffed out, that could be a problem.
Yeah, they'll use the Lear there to get control of the C site. But little do they know, Sony, it's got other plans in store, looking to at least get some support from the rest of the defense. They do have the man advantage here, and that could really bode well for them if they use it effectively. Sony going to be spotted out early. That's the running back. That's going to be allowing Morg to push in aggressively. That's a great kill onto Sabrosas. Now the swing will continue onto Drone, but he'll win that gun duel, and now it's just down to the 2v3. They need to make their way onto the site quickly, as Ninja will take out Drone, and now it's just down to 1. It's Hayes, as they will funnel their way onto the site. The wall, though, as it will soon dissipate, Grego will fall, and it's Morg that'll help 100 Blifted win yet another round, a very important round for them to win again. You know, we talk a little bit about TSM obviously being a top 3 team. And we talk about this team, of course, being an influencer team. But these are good strides against an organization like TSM, making your mark round after round, chip away, you know, chip away at their confidence and put yourself in a position to succeed. And so far, 100 Blifted, it's not doing too bad. It's not doing too bad.
No, and look, again, let's not sell them short. They're not a bad team or a rollover team by any means.
No.
And we've seen a couple of really nice shots in a couple of opening rounds already, so we'll see how this continues to pan out. Looks like TSM is leaving the spike back in their spawn for now. Wardell's able to get the opening frag onto Grego. He's going to sit on the sidelines for the rest of this round, and that might be the pick they needed to make a play here on this map.
Yeah, when you have one down, especially on defense, it's very difficult to figure out, okay, how are we going to stretch this out in order to cover all bases? Fortunately, for them, it could result in a good read. Like, if they stack towards 4 to C, they might be able to read that, like, okay, they're all going to go to C, and they anticipate it. But so far, it hasn't really worked out. A great trade! Orbital strike onto Morg, but it's Sony that'll answer back into Sabrosa. Still need to chip away at a couple more players. It's just down to Lex into Sony. The swing does not work out well for him. It's now Drone just trying to hunt down the Sova player. And now as the swing goes forward, they'll swing together. Sony will get a trade onto Cutler, but it's still 2 down now for TSM. They'll get that spike down. Don't think they had enough time with the extra credits. And now it is a 2-5 round differential in favor of TSM.
Yeah, and there's not a whole lot of money on the side of 100 Blifted. We're going to see we're going to see a couple of sheriffs. Yeah, maybe a shotgun, depending on the flavor that you want to go with. But there's not a ton as far as resources go. Not a lot of dough in the bank for 100 Blifted. So you imagine with TSM being at full force, I think that was 4 Phantoms and an op. You imagine this will likely be a quick round for TSM, but Lex, Lex, that's certainly going to help. Cutler able to trade it back, however, and once again, TSM has license over B if they want to go that way.
And Morg has been holding this every single round, but at varying positions. So with the shotgun, he plays a little bit more up close, and he's going to net himself a frag. The $1,500 judge pays off, but little does he know his alter ego pushes through the window and gathers that frag quite easily. Now Sony in a great position. He'll be taken out by Hazed. This is TSM just picking them off one at a time. Let's see if Ninja has the ability to get some damage done with the shorty.
Yeah, you hear the spike begin to plan. Ninja! Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness, Ninja! Why did you have to do him like that? Oh my goodness. Okay, let me get that right. He teleported in his face and then gave him the business. Is that what happened?
Yeah, no, that was an accurate representation of what took place. What else has taken place is that the spike is down. 100 Blifted. Grego, the last one standing, trying to make a play here on this spike. It looks like he might get a chance at jiggle peeking one, but nope, he's not going to get a chance for very long. Grego gets taken out at the hands of Drone. TSM nets their 6th round, and 100 Blifted fall further and further behind.
And we have to reiterate that this is an attacker-sided map. You know, finding wins against TSM is kind of the goal for 100 Blifted. You know, win or lose for either of these teams, 100 Blifted does not move on to playoffs, and TSM does move on to playoffs, regardless of the circumstance of this match. But I still think 100 Blifted would be so happy to take a win, at least a map, maybe even the series against TSM. That would be a great feat, regardless of win or lose, who moves on and who doesn't. So Wardell, unfortunately not able to land some crucial shots, does end up finding his mark onto Lex. A quick trade from Lex himself, though, puts us in a 3v4.
And that was textbook Wardell with the op, right? Fly out of window, didn't land your shot, fine. I'm just gonna jet using Jet's utility. I'm gonna dash out of the way, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna hit the shot anyway. The pace at which Wardell plays is unrivaled, in my opinion, by anyone else in North America.
Yeah. Other than TenZ. Maybe in terms of being an operator player and being a Jet player, I think the only person that can rival him is TenZ. But to be quite honest, like I've had a little bit of experience commentating some of the European scene. They hardly touch Jet, and it's a stark difference to the play style, I think, between the regions. Can't wait for the first international tournament. We're obviously not there quite yet. Looking at a beautiful perspective. Oh, drone! I think he saw the barrel of the gun, but still a nice little shot onto Ninja.
Also, that was a dope animation. That at the end there with the dragon and the chains and like the soul coming out thing. Really a tragic way to go, but a cool animation nonetheless.
Yeah. Yes. Looking at the scoreline, though, at some of the players, while we expect Wardell to really cook up, it is Drone that is leading. And that sometimes happens, you know, when you're the entry, when you're playing Phoenix, you're the one that curveballs and pushes forward. And so you'll often find yourself in a surplus of frags in comparison to the rest of your team. So that makes a little bit more sense. But we are seeing 100 Blifted with a very different look here than we've seen before. An aggressive push in towards the courtyard. They won't find a frag quite yet. There it is. It's onto Drone as Lex will continue to push forward. But those knives are out and they're looking to slice and they will dice as Wardell finds one. But somehow 100 Blifted put it down to the 1v1. It's up to Ninja. He's got the Phantom and Hazed. I don't think he quite knows where Ninja is, but here comes the teleport. Let's see where Ninja ends up. He's gathering information and commits to the full teleport. No, never mind. That's a big psych. So now that we've got the 1v1, Ninja can pick up an upgrade in the courtyard. Let's see how he deals against Ninja.
And if Hazed wants, he has Orbital Strike. He can just play on the cusp, listen out for a defuse, and then just drop the Orbital Strike knowing where he planted the spike. It's an expensive way, or you could just shoot Ninja in the face around the corner and win the round and save the Orbital Strike.
Yes. So 2 rounds away from the second half. So far, TSM, they're in the driver's seat, but we've seen some great attempts at rounds and some great rounds from 100 Blifted that have at least kept it within range of them to fight for a map win. You know, they're definitely not down and out quite yet. Of course, TSM, they're in the lead. TSM fanboys, they're in the chat. They're cooking up. They're living. They're dreaming. But for 100 Blifted, they still have an opportunity to knock the Titan off their feet.
Still plenty to be decided here, but like you said, 8-2, very heavily in favor of TSM. Grego trying to get some high ground, see if he can catch anyone, but nothing doing quite yet. He does have the showstopper in his back pocket. We'll see if he avails himself of that resource. Drone decides to go in. Morg has spotted him down to 11 health, and he is worse for wear after that trade.
I'm going to heal back up. Little known fact, Hot Hands or the Blaze Wall only heal up to 70, so it's not actually a full heal. Not sure many knew that, considering the circumstance of how he can heal himself. So in conjunction, they will heal completely full as we are seeing the defense really handle a great halt of the push here from TSM, just down to 2. Sabrosa and Wardell, plenty of an opportunity to push forward, but that spike is in a very difficult position that will eventually get picked up. They may look to try to back away, or look, instead they're now going to decide to push more on the opposite side. The peek is good from Wardell, and now that's a quick call, as the rest of the defense have to stick around the C site to stop this push.
This is such a TSM thing to do. Heavily outnumbered, 4-2? Yeah, let's go for it. He's able to get the opening kill, and Sabrosa gets the second, and just like that, it's knotted up 2-2. It looks like the spike is going to go down. Wardell, wisely, guessing over there, and yeah, Sony's back there. There's going to be one more player. Yeah, that's Ninja coming from CT. Wardell's going to get his chance, and you don't miss when your name is Wardell. The last person standing is in garage. Sony, see if you have any magic in you, see if you can pull anything off. Yeah, that's certainly going to help, but when Sabrosa is there, what more backup do you need? TSM up 9-2.
Yeah, last round in the half, we'll see if 100 Blifted, once we have a quick look at the scoreboard, have the economy to really cook things up, and unfortunately, it'll be likely just ramen noodles for dinner. Light armor, Spectres, not really sure what Grego's going to buy. Lightly an assault rifle with some light armor, so don't even know where their utility's at. I wish we could also see utility in a scoreboard like this. It would be really helpful to know what they have and what they don't, but, you know, for the future Observer client updates, you know.
Well, you can see it on their overlays. But that said, I like ramen. Ramen's good. I get down with some ramen.
Yeah, but as a university student, that's like the patented, I don't really have the credits to buy some lunch, you know what I mean? But they actually do pretty decent, you know, rifles and armor. They're not doing too bad, considering the circumstance. But of course, they obviously forced up. But the current round that we are in, it's been a 1-for-1 trade. It's still the 4v4. They'll find Ninja on the C site. Wardell, not really sure why that shot did not connect. I'm pretty sure the crosshair was there, but it won't end up being fruitful for him. Drone will win the duel, but Lex is on a 3K, and it's looking good for 100 Blifted down to the 2v2.
Yeah, and we saw TSM in a 4v2. They managed to win that one. We'll see with odds more in their favor if they're able to replicate that success. Lex is able to get the best of Drone. That's 4 kills in his pocket this round. Looking for the clean ace, and Cutler, the man in the way of that reward. The spike hanging out back by their spawn. And Cutler has to shimmy his way back there. See if he can pick up the spike. I don't think 100 Blifted know
I have retrieved the spike.
where the spike is. He's going to be able to pick it up, and if he guesses correctly, C is totally open. He's going to be able to get on there without any effort.
Spike, of course, going to be going down, but he only has 10 seconds left on the clock. Only 4 seconds to plant. That shouldn't be too difficult, but buying a lot of time, making sure that nobody hears him. But now Sony will be around the corner, and as the swing comes forward for Cutler, tries to get a little bit of a spray going, but unfortunately not going to land onto Sony. So now the 1v2. If 100 Blifted win this round, which is possible, but Cutler, we've seen before, is called the Clutchler, and that's for a specific reason. Now he goes through the window. Sony will send his best regards to the graveyard leader, who is awaiting all patrons to go to purgatory. He'll send Cutler there, and now we are in a 9-3 half. I talked a little bit about how difficult TSM could make it for 100 Blifted. This is good. They move on to the attacker side, where theoretically, statistically, Haven favors the attack. And so now we'll see how 100 Blifted really lay on some rounds. Can they catch up, or can TSM close this series out, or sorry, the map out right here, right now?
Now, Simo, tell me this. I want to say that the spread between attack and defend on this map is like 51-49 on the attack side, right? There's an advantage, but it's slight.
I think it's a little bit more. I think at most it's like 53, 54. Like, okay. I don't exactly remember the stat, but it's definitely not 51. 51 is bind. 51 is bind, and so that's obviously the closest. So after that, things start to get a little bit more statistically scary for certain maps. And on this map, the attack have a little bit more of a fun time, as we are now seeing the fun time start to occur for Hazed. He gets a couple of bullets from the Ghost, and those arrows won't connect. He'll still survive.
And this is an important round for 100 Blifted. Oh, Wardell. Wardell's able to get the best of Sony. I think he saw the spike drop, and he's opting to push forward. He gets one and pops right back out in like a thief in the night. He gets the third. Wardell, you monster. These people have families. What the heck are you doing to them?
That's a flawless round. That's rough. However, it is the pistol. They can be volatile. We're having a quick look at a replay of that. Wardell spots the barrel of the gun, says, hello, how's it going? Gets another, and then gets the third. He always wants more. What a great replay. Thank you, our observers, for providing that. And we just got to see how Wardell was able to cook up. Now moving on to the next round. It's Ghosts, it's Shotguns, it's Marshals. This one's going to be crazy for TSM.
Spike once again, waiting out. Slow start. Oh, Ninja with the double take. Sub Rosa gets the best of him. Sony's able to trade it out, however, and Wardell goes in, goes up, and drops right back down to his death.
Okay, Grego almost had an opportunity, but when you're judge v judge, it's very difficult to figure out who's going to come out on top. Drone manages to trace correctly with that aim labs training. You'll find more. Now Sony here with the Stinger. He's ADSing, and unfortunately, the only ADSing he will do is in the next round, as Drone will take him out. And TSM, they're double digits. They can definitely close things out within the next 2 rounds if they really play to their strengths here. I think 100 Blifted forced up there. Yeah, they definitely did. And so now their economy's punished. They're just going to pistol and chalk it up to match point for TSM and try to come back that way. But might be a very difficult journey from this point on.
Yeah, it's a difficult road down 11-3, and you know, attack, defense, statistics. I don't know that TSM really cares about which is favored, and now when you've got shots like Subrosa and hit, getting the best of Lex, they're already going to have the numbers advantage. The spike hasn't moved from back in the spawn, and if you play this, what you're doing is you're trying to find a pick so that you can make a move. TSM not able, excuse me, 100 Blifted not able to find the pick that they're looking for.
Wardell donated them the Ares. He just pushed it out. In fact, it's still sitting there. It's still sitting there. He gave them the Ares. He's like, come on, pick it up. Pick it up, man. Pick up the Ares. Morg, he gets into a little bit of a scuffle with Wardell. He's going to find himself, or actually, I think he just found himself a Phantom somehow, and he gets involved, finds Morg, but Ninja will quickly trade him out down to the 2v2, and Wardell, man, he's mean mugging.
Yeah, he like intentionally went into that for a moment with just a classic. Oh, the timing. Ninja trying to get the best of Drone, and Drone is going to make quick work of him, take him out. One member left on the side. 100 Blifted. Grego has an idea of where Drone is because this is where murder just took place a few seconds ago. But Drone is going to start to rotate out again. The spike is just sitting right outside of the garage doors. You see on your mini map, there is one player on the side of TSM hanging out at C, but it doesn't matter. That's another round for TSM. Match point.
Yeah, match point here for TSM, and judging how 100 Blifted handled that round, the economy is still not really in the greatest place. So now that TSM, they've got 3 judges, they've got 2 Odins. Doug, what is about to happen? I don't know. I don't even think I want to touch on it. I don't think I even want to talk about it. But we've got some weapons. They're not exactly professionally standard equipment. Let's see how TSM deal with their opponents.
Oh man, this just feels bad. This is like a perfect cap on how this map has gone. Lex is able to trade it out, but Drone and Subrosa. I mean, when you're dealing with that, what are your options? What can you do? TSM's just styling on 100 Blifted right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Ninja, I see you. The Guardian, the one taps, they definitely get the job done. Oh, I like this play. He repositions, but they hear it. They smell it like a pack of hyenas. They hunt him down, and there's fresh meat on the table for dinner. 13-3, the scoreline, 100 Blifted. They had some opportunities, some rounds, very, very close, but of course, it is going to be TSM that win the first map. And as we prepare for the second, a lot of learning can be done here from this first map. 100 Blifted can take it back to the drawing board. If there's anyone that I think really performed well, I think the entire team pulled up their socks in certain rounds, but it was ultimately Lex for 100 Blifted that kept the dream alive.
Yeah, and again, a tough scenes, I believe is what the kids are saying these days. Morg 9 and 15, Sony as well, and Ninja didn't have a great performance either, as did Grego. It's just tough. And look, this is TSM we're talking about here, right? Like, this is a difficult matchup if you're 100 Blifted, and as talented as these guys can be and as high of a ceiling as they may have given the right investment of time and resources. The truth of the matter is, and this map was a really good indicator of it, they're just not at that level yet. They're not there right now. That's not to say they won't be or they can't be.
Yeah.
But the truth is in the pudding, and right now they're not there.
Yeah, for those that may be wondering when the next map will be, admins, of course, if you can read the very small chat font, next map starts at 9:09 Eastern. I don't know what that time may be for those that are on Pacific time. That might be 6:09. So just a couple more minutes while the players take a quick break. And the next map, of course, will be Ascent with TSM on defense and 100 Blifted on attack. We saw how defensive sided this may be, and it's a lot more defensive sided statistically than any other map. And so 100 Blifted, I think they may struggle. I think they may struggle quite a bit. However, TSM, Ascent's kind of like, I don't know if it's their toughest map, but they've definitely had some serious losses against team like Envy and T1, and so that tells me that they still need to improve their Ascent capabilities.
Yeah, although this tournament they've had 2 appearances on Ascent and they've been fruitful. 13-4 up against Homeless, and then much closer, but a 13-11 win up against 100 Thieves. So TSM showing they can certainly do it. But you're right, they have shown moments of weakness on this map. But all of that said, when you're talking about the caliber of opposition, we have 2 things we can choose from here. 2 things we can compare. We can compare 100 Blifted to the Homelesses of the world,
Yeah.
and draw that parallel to what the potential outcome may be, or we can compare them to the 100 Thieves of the world and see what that matchup might be closest to. And Simo, I'd love to get your thoughts, but my gut tells me they're closer to Homeless than they are to 100 Thieves.
So I'm gonna need to stop you right there because chat probably thinks that you're saying 100 Blifted are homeless, and I know that they're definitely not homeless. So I think some players on this team are freaking multimillionaires. Okay, so